Senator Wright.
Thank you, Mr Acting Deputy President. I rise tonight to speak about the urgent need for a school system where every child has the chance to succeed. Last week I initiated a matter of public importance debate on the failure of the Abbott Government to acknowledge or address the staggering inequality of opportunity in our schools in Australia in 2014. I certainly spoke in that debate, as did some of my colleagues, but tonight I want to add to that discussion by letting parents, students and teachers have their say in this place too. From every corner of the country, people have been contacting my office about the pressing need to finish what the Gonski review started. Because the future of our nation's school kids is not just a political game for the Minister of Education or anyone else. It's real lives and it's our nation's future. Of course, it's not only the Australian Greens who believe in a future where education outcomes are not dependent on wealth or privilege. We're not the only ones who want to live in a country where every single kid can achieve their potential, no matter where they live or whatever their background. So tonight I'd like to hand over the floor to the people of Australia who are desperate to see change in our school funding system for the benefit of the whole nation. I'll start with Christine from New South Wales. She wrote to me and said, "I am waiting to see how my young daughter will be educated. When she begins school, will she be one of the hundreds of thousands of children who receive a barely adequate, underfunded education in a rural public school simply because her parents can't afford the affluent private alternative? Or will she be cared for in a system designed to bring out the best in every child?" As I write this, it seems that the former is most likely, as the politicians who have the power over such decisions show little care or imagination for the future of the country or the children who will grow up to lead it. Kate from Victoria wrote to me about the fantastic public education she had received and her gratitude that her children were receiving the same. But she knows she's lucky. As Kate says, "I am so impressed by the facilities, the wonderful school grounds, the classrooms at my boys' school. The hard work and enthusiasm of the teachers astounds me, considering the pathetic remuneration they receive, and I feel my children are extremely lucky to be taught by them. I am lucky to be a well-educated, white, middle-class woman in a well-off area and a swinging state electorate. I know our local primary and high schools are probably better than average. I only wish funding would be allocated to bring the less well-off state schools up to the same standard, so all kids in the state system received the excellent education my kids are getting. I am disgusted that funding is allocated on a per-student system, so that well-off private schools take money from the pot that would otherwise go to poorer schools. I will say that public schools all around the country are making the best of the resources they have. Jenny, from my home state of South Australia, wrote to me about how further funding would change her child's future. She wrote, "My 7-year-old goes to a public school in a low socio-economic area. Many of the children at this school come from disadvantaged backgrounds. All of these children deserve to receive a high-quality education, as do all children. All of the staff, from the principal down, are passionate about education and give much of their own time and so much energy to providing the children with tools they need to learn the best they can. It is not just empty rhetoric at my children's school when they say that every child has the right to learn. This school already does amazing things but could do so much more with a fairer funding model that truly does help those most at need. This will not just benefit these children, it's a benefit to the whole of society to support its most vulnerable members. I know this is a cliche, but society is only as strong as its weakest members. It is my belief that we as a nation cannot afford not to provide good education to all." Sarah from New South Wales wrote to me about the importance of providing extra support for rural schools, as recommended by the Gonski Review. She wrote, "I live in a rural area on the mid-north coast. The local government school is the heart of the community in a disadvantaged area. Our school has only 20 children. When it comes to staffing, the school is only eligible for one full-time teacher stroke principal and one part-time teacher. Could you imagine being the principal, doing all the myriad tasks that job entails, as well as being a full-time teacher for K-2? And then when the other teacher is not there, teaching 20 children at 7 different levels of education? I am full of admiration for the principal of our school, but how long can a person keep this up for? Please help our school and all public schools to be able to support our children. Schools are the heart of the community, especially a little community like ours. Many schools from all over the country are also participating in the current Senate Select Committee into Schools funding. Johns River Public School in New South Wales is one of hundreds of schools urging the current Abbott Government to fund the full 6 years of the Gonski scheme. Johns River says they'll use the money to maintain and develop relationships and connection with local Indigenous community, additional support for student welfare, and resources to support parents in parenting successfully. They say to enhance student outcomes, we need to fund all students to the minimum level set out in the Gonski review as the student resources standard and provide the loadings. This will only be done if we get the full 6 years of Gonski. Tammy from South Australia also contacted me about the importance of the loadings for disadvantage, including disability. She wrote, "I'm a teacher and also a parent of 3 boys, 2 with special needs. In my work and at home, I see the need for more education resources on a daily basis. I have experience in both primary and secondary, both private and public, high socioeconomic and low. Wherever you go, you see the same thing. Kids with additional needs need more resources, more time, more support, and it all costs money. Gonski's plan to provide more to all and based on need is so simple in its effectiveness. All we really need to do is make education a priority. It's the future of our nation and of the world." Lisa from Victoria wrote beautifully about the social and economic imperatives for action. She wrote, "Our whole country benefits when those who couldn't become those who can. As a nation, we must move from those who could make a difference to those who will make a difference. She writes, if the Liberal Party ignores the pleas of the community for the full 6 years of funding, thousands of schools will remain below standard." I again call on Education Minister Christopher Pyne to get behind the Gonski reforms, to get behind with sincerity, to get behind them with heart. It's not just about the dollar figure. It's about the targeted strategy to address the genuine existing inequality in our schools. Inequality compounds disadvantage and squanders human potential, and it has huge economic costs. I'll give the final word to Scott. Scott says, "I'm in Year 9 at high school in Victoria. My school is under-resourced and teachers are trying their hardest with what little they have. Teachers need better pay. Schools need more targeted funding and more of it. Don't put our education at risk. Don't trash our futures.